Right, hi everyone. I just thought I'd introduce myself. My name's Jess. I'm a physiotherapist and Pilates instructor. I think it's really amazing that everyone's getting involved and doing their bits of exercise. Loads of people getting involved and doing stuff at home, which is just amazing. And hopefully it's something positive to come out of this really quite scary and morbid situation we find ourselves in. So I just want to go through a couple of bits of the basics of Pilates. So if you are doing videos online, then at least you can make sure that your form is correct and that you're not going to risk yourself any injuries by doing something incorrectly, or maybe straining your back, because unfortunately hands-on physio at the moment is pretty hard to come by. But this can be a really nice gentle introduction to Pilates, just a little bit of a snippet about what Pilates is all about. If you've got any questions or any feedback, then please feel free to message me. I'll try and help in whichever way I can. But I hope you enjoy the session. Okay, so we're going to start off in standing. So make sure you've got a mat nearby, lots of space to move around, a glass of water if you need. But we're going to start off, and you're going to think about having your weight equal through left and right sides of your body. So we're just going to set up our perfect posture. So it's going to sway the weight from one side to the other, forward and backwards. So not enough that it sends you off balance, but just so you're swaying. And imagine you've got a plumb line coming down between your feet from your pelvis, and you're finding that neutral point between those extremes. You're going to think about loading the weight through the ball of your foot, and the weight should be equal through from your big toe to your little toe, and the weight equally distributed between your right and left side. Knees should be bent, just in a relaxed position. We don't want to lock them out straight, but just a nice relaxed position from there. And you're going to imagine you've got a bucket of water sitting around your pelvis, and that bucket's full to the brim. We don't want to let it tip forward, so we're going to tip forward, let that water flow out in front, and then curl back, let that water flow into your tummy button. I'm just going to work through that movement, forward and back, and just feel the amount of movement that's available at your pelvis. It's going to be a lot more than you think. You might find one side feels a bit stiffer than the other. That's fine. Just work through a couple of repetitions. Feel for that range. And then find that point in the midpoint. So this is what we call your neutral spine. So make sure that your pelvis isn't too tipped forward or backwards. It's a just nice neutral position from there. You can imagine you've got springs between your rib cage and your pelvis, and they're not arching up, so your ribs aren't popping forward, but they're just soft and relaxed into your pelvis. And you're going to shrug the shoulders up towards your ears, bring the arms back, and let them drop heavy by your side. And imagine your spine is being drawn up towards the ceiling, a piece of string at the top of your head, drawing your spine nice and tall. So from there, in our perfect posture, the chest is open, the shoulders relaxed, rib cage is relaxed, pelvis is in neutral, and the weight's equal between left and right sides of your body. Unfortunately, that's where we want to stay, but we need to move. So it's all about trying to work through keeping that lovely posture. So we're just going to work through a couple of little bits, just thinking about lifting up through one heel. So we're just going to roll from one side to the other. Think about rolling from your big toe all the way through to the outside of your toe, so your weight's equal through the balls of your feet. Good. And when I'm doing this, my weight's coming up and down rather than shifting from side to side. So it's all about just allowing the left and right sides of your body to work independently of each other. Good. You might get a few cricks and creaks into your ankles. That's absolutely fine. Good. So we're going to work up the body from there, just slowly warming each point up. So you're going to drop the weight down into your heels, open through, so your knees should be stacked directly over your heels, and we're going to reach up and over into our plie. So you're making a really straight line down and through to your toes, open through the rib cage. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe out, just see if you can take that side reach a little bit further. And then we're going to twist up and over to the other side. Nice fluid motion coming over and across again, opening out through this side of the body. Toes pointed, leg stays nice and straight. Deep breath in, breathe out, and reach that little bit further across. And go one more each side, so that nice flowing, shifting the weight over. See if you can challenge yourself by sinking into that hip a little way more. And then working back over and across. And then coming back to centre. You can imagine you've got a big beach ball held out in front of you, and you're just going to load the weight down into your feet and slowly pressing up, and then drop back down. Just a nice little wide squat. So from here, my pelvis is staying in neutral, so I'm not tipping too far forward or back. It's just up and down, squeezing into your glutes as you raise yourself up. Good. Then from there we're going back to centre, still holding that nice big beach ball. We're going to come into a spine twist. So that bucket of water is still really nice and stable. We're going to twist round. Imagine you've got headlights onto the pelvis, and those headlights are pointing forward, so we're just mobilising through the spine, back to the centre, then out the other side, back to the middle, then once again through, keep the spine tall, chest is open, and back through, once more this way, and then back to the centre. Gently lift the arms up, drop the arms by your side. Going to come into a dumb waiter now, so just working through your shoulder blades. So the elbows are tucked close into your chest. Going to keep the elbows squeezed into that rib cage and open and close. So just thinking about trying to keep the shoulder blades working through, squeeze the shoulder blades together and then let them open through. The chest is staying open and we're still keeping that pelvis in neutral. Again, this is just a little intro, but if you wanted to, you could add a little heel lift as you open and drop down, but we're going to keep it really simple for today. So open through from there. Good, 3 more. Got 1, 2, 3, and then relaxing from there. You're going to drop the arms by the side, drop the head to one side, and let the opposite arm hang down nice and heavy. Suck the chin to the chest, over to the other side, and then back to the centre. So from here, we're just going to work our way down onto the mat. So you're going to have a stand at the end of your mat. You're going to tuck the chin to the chest and slowly curl your body down and forward, one level at a time. So allowing your spine to open through, the knees are relaxed, and just working down as far as you feel comfortable. You might get to there, that's fine. Just go to where you feel most comfortable. Then as we curl back up from here, you're going to think about restacking the spine up, starting from the pelvis, lifting up one level at a time. So I've got the camera quite close so you can see the techniques on the mat. And then chin to chest, curl back down and forward, open through the spine. And then a little bend to the knees if you need to reach the ground. You're going to gently walk the hands forward, aiming to keep the heels as close to the ground as you can, and just let your head fall in between your shoulder blades, pushing the bottom up towards the ceiling. Good, and hold from there. Allow the weight to drop down into your heels. And then from here, we're going to gently bend the knees. So I'm just going to go through a couple of basic positions in each point, but we're just still working through some stretches from here. But when we're in 4-point kneeling, you want to imagine you've got pressure plates under each of the 4 points of contact with the ground. So you're not leaning one side or tip too far forward or backwards. So you're going to tuck the chin to the chest, arch the spine up towards the ceiling, and then hollow the back down and lifting the head up. So this is coming into our cat stretch. If you have any problems or pain in your lower back, then you're fine to arch up, but I just say avoid this dip down because it's a lot of extension through your lumbar spine and you might find it will pinch and irritate certain structures. So just go to the range you might find that you only get to there, or you can get all the way up Just work to where you feel comfortable through with the movement. And then from there, you're going to pop your feet together, part the knees slightly, walk the weight back towards your bottom, and then walking the hands forward, open through the spine. And you're really thinking about elongating the whole way along the spine. Taking a deep breath in. As you breathe out, see if you can just creep the hands a little bit further forward, but keep your bottom back onto those heels if you can. Good. So from here, get a little roll onto your back. It's going to work through again, working through that nice posture. So if you need to, you can have a little block or a pillow underneath your head. So we're going to think about the weight being equal through our feet. We're not sitting onto one side more than the other, and feel the balls of your feet sinking into the ground. Your knees are just in a relaxed position, and then from here we're going to come back into those pelvic tilts. So imagine you've got a little marble or a Malteser sitting just below your tummy button, and you're going to tilt the pelvis backwards so your spine flattens against the mat, so that Malteser rolls into your tummy button, and then tilting forward so that Malteser rolls back between your legs, and you get a little arch through from your lower back. So just tilting back and forward, working through that mobility. Again, exactly as we're doing with that bucket of water in standing, just finding that neutral spine. So find the point between those extremes of the movement. This is where your back should be in a really natural curve. So your neck curves away, your mid back sinks into the mat, and your lower back just arches away slightly. The ribs are relaxed, so you're not arching up and popping up through your rib cage. They're just sinking down into the mat. The chest is open, and just gently move your shoulders up and down, side to side, and allow the shoulder blades to sink into the mat. And the spine is tall. Those muscles up the side of your neck, which often get tight, try to think about allowing the shoulder blade to drop down into the mat, and so that you're not allowing your shoulders to creep up. We're going to work on an exercise on that in a moment. So from here, we're just going to come into a really nice, simple one leg stretch, just thinking about trying to maintain that posture. So in terms of when we're activating our core, it's not a case of bracing everything on. It's thinking about a really low, subtle, deep contraction. So it's like your body's internal corset. So the bony points on the front of your pelvis, just reach in about an inch from there, and you should feel a little thinning from there, and have a little cough or a little laugh, and you should feel just a really small, subtle muscle just activate through. That connects through with your pelvic floor, an upper muscle called your multifidus up your spine, and basically together they act to really stabilize your spine. So when we're saying switch on your core, it's not bracing all your tummy muscles. Whilst those superficial tummy muscles may look lovely on the beach, they're not overly functional in terms of your stability. So to try and get that engagement, you're going to imagine you've got a really low slung belt loop, and you're just thinking about tightening that belt loop around those bony points. It's not over your tummy, around those bony points of your pelvis, just 2 notches tighter than you might normally. So it's not bracing everything on, it's just a little thinning and drawing in and through from there. What you can also, so that works for some people. Other people, we might like to think about having a zip from your tailbone, zipping up and through and attaching onto your pubic bone. So whichever works best for you, but it should be that you can maintain a normal breathing rate. You should be able to hold a conversation whilst doing that. And that's a really lovely exercise to do in itself, is just switching your core on and off. So it's easier to do in lying down, but progressive doing it in sitting and standing. You could be sitting there in a queue or having a having a meeting with someone, and you could be practicing your core activation, building up that connection from your brain to your core without anyone even knowing about it, because it's that subtle. So practicing that nice, lovely core engagement, we're just going to gently glide one leg out and away, keep the heel in line with the mat, and then curling back in. So we're going to alternate between left and right sides of your body. So I often like to say to people, you're imagining your body split into quarters, and your core is that center point that holds everything together. So your left and your right side of your body should be able to work independently, and your upper and lower body should be able to work independently of each other. So it's just nice to sometimes think about that, and you've got that nice strong connection in the center. So if you have a little look at your knees, it should be that your knees are staying really stable as you move one leg away and then come back in. That knee shouldn't be moving out to the side or swinging around as the leg extends away. So it's all about that connection from left to right. Good. So then from there, going to give those legs a little bit of breathing. You're going to bring the arms up in line with your chest. And just think about gently squeezing the shoulder blades together to open through the chest. And we're going to bring both arms overhead. Gently tap the thumbs and contact. And then curl back up and round. So breathe in to prepare, and then breathe out as you extend away. So this is a really lovely one for trying to make sure those traps, those upper neck muscles don't squeeze your shoulders on. You should be able to feel your shoulder blades sinking down into the mat and then coming back to the center again. Again, your spine should be stable. There shouldn't be any movement into your lower back. And you might find that you can't go all the way overhead. That's absolutely fine. Just work to the level that you feel comfortable with. If you find this nice and easy, then what we can do is we can combine those two exercises we've just done together. So we can extend one leg away, the arms come overhead, and then back to the center. But again, if you feel like your body's starting to prop up or you've got any instability anywhere, just work through these basics to get everything switching on correctly to start off with. We've got a couple of weeks of lockdown, so you've got plenty of time to work on your posture and your form. Good. So I'm just going to do one more exercise in line. I'm just going to give you a little bit of a taste of different positions that we might work through in a normal class. So you're going to keep your feet really close to your bottom now. We're going to come into a shoulder bridge. So again, if you've got any back problems or any pain in your back, then please be really cautious with this. You're going to tilt your pelvis backwards. You're going to squeeze your bottom, and you're going to say lift up through your spine one level at a time. So imagine you're uncurling and peeling your spine off the mat, coming up onto your shoulder blades. Chest is open, shoulders are relaxed. And as we peel back down, you're going to start off from your breastbone and lay the spine one level at a time, just so that the pelvis is the last to reach the movement. So tilt back, squeeze the bottom, lifting up and through. So this is a lovely one. Your core should still be engaged. Your pelvis should be level, so we're not dropping one side or lifting up from there. And this is a really lovely way to start introducing a little bit of mobility through your spine while still keeping your core engaged. So if you imagine you're laying on a white sandy beach in Barbados, and you're imprinting your spine into that lovely beach, because you ain't going to move from there for a while. And again, just work through at your own pace to where the control allows you to. Good, and then relaxing from there. So we're going to move into sideline. Again, we're going to reteach you that correct sideline posture. So when you're doing your classes and things online, you can really be sure that you're minimising the risk of any injury. So you're going to lie with your body straight. Imagine there's a pane of glass in front and behind you. And then feel for the bony point on the top of your pelvis, and it should be level with the bony point on the bottom of the pelvis. So the way we achieve that is we're thinking about elongating through this top hip. So you're creating a little gap. Imagine there's a chocolate or a little ice cube sitting underneath your waist. You're maintaining that nice neutral spine. The shoulders relaxed. If you need to, you can have one hand in front of you. I'm just using my other hand here as a little bit of a rest, but if you've got a pillow or a block, you can pop that underneath. But the main aim is to keep your body centered so we don't tip forward or backwards too far. So this hand in front, imagine there's feathers underneath it, and it's a really light contact. So from here, it's going to gently lift one leg up and then control back down. So the control on the way down is really important. We don't want to let just gravity drop that leg through. And what we're doing is we're still maintaining that neutral spine. So we're working into the hip on this top leg. Good. You can do 3 more. 1, 2, 3. And this time we're going to hold it from there. and then see how slowly you can bring that leg down. So it's really nice. It's all about the control through the movement. We're going to pause just before your feet come together, and from there you're going to sweep the leg forward and then squeeze the bottom, sweep the leg back. So this is really going to challenge that lateral stability, so you're not leaning forward as one leg comes back, or vice versa, leaning back as the leg comes forward. So you're really localizing that movement, engaging through your core from here. That pelvis is still stacked nicely. This bottom leg should be able to be relaxed and shouldn't be bracing on. Good. Breathe in as you come back to the center. Breathe out as you kick forward. Breathe in as you come to center. Breathe out as you kick behind. Good, then from there you're just going to gently hug that leg in towards you, and you should feel that gives you a nice stretch of that top hip. And whilst we're here, we're going to come into an inner leg lift. So we're going to work with this bottom leg underneath from here. So what we're going to do is think about lifting that leg up and then control back down. So you're working through those inner thigh muscles. But why I wanted to include this in today's session was to make sure that you're not leaning and pushing and getting stability through from that top knee. So that you can see my leg can still move up and down, and I'm not relying on that top leg for any stability. Good, so from here we're going to roll onto our tummy. So we're going to come into an exercise called your donkey kick from here. So you're going to bend one leg up to 90 degrees. And this is basically really designed to try and make sure that your glutes engage before your hamstrings. So just come into a couple of pelvic tilts forward and back. Refine that neutral spine. Sometimes in front line, people find it a bit easy to think about that pubic bone pushing into the mat a little way. But just due to where you find you've got that neutral spine again, and you're going to imagine your foot is pointing up towards the ceiling. So you're going to squeeze the bottom, kick up and relax down. We're going to aim for that leg to lift and lower, nice and straight. So we're starting the movement off by squeezing your bottom. Imagine you've got a 50-pound note clenched between your bottom cheeks and you're working hard to keep it. So your hamstrings, these muscles down the back of your leg, should be staying as relaxed as possible, and the back shouldn't be bracing on. There's going to be some activity through your hamstrings and back, but the main movement should be coming through from your glutes. Good, then from there we're going to swap over to the other side, so you're bending up from there, and then lift and lower. Again, think about those hamstrings staying relaxed, the glutes engaging. And then relaxing down from there. So we're going to leave it at that in terms of our front line exercises. I'm just going to come through into a couple into 4-point kneeling. So you're going to gently bring yourself up into from here. And as I said before, we're going to think about pressure points underneath your hands and your shoulders. And then from here, we're going to come into an exercise called swimming. So we're just going to start off unlayering it one by one to start off with. So you're going to gently bring one arm up and away, and then back through. Other arm up and away, and then bring one leg back, and then the other leg back. Good. So you're going to go arm, arm, leg, leg. So just get used to that weight distribution and making sure you're not tipping forward side to side too much. As you feel ready, we're going to progress to opposite arm and opposite leg. And the reason I wanted to include this today is it really highlights what I was saying about that quadrant. So you think about opposite left and right sides of your body are able to work independently, upper and lower body are able to work independently. I'm not dropping through the back, My spine's staying relaxed and not bracing on. The pelvis is staying stable. So you breathe out as you extend away, in as you come back to the centre. You do one more each side. And then relaxing down from there. Bring the bottom back to heels, then walking the hands forward. Give yourself a nice little stretch from there. Good, so from here, it's going to gently roll ourselves onto side lying on the other side. So again, when we're doing these side lying exercises, it's important to make sure you work both sides separately, because otherwise we make sure we do the same on both sides, so we're not strengthening our bodies unequally. So again, we'll think about that nice posture, so bony points level with the bony point at the bottom of your pelvis, pushing that top hip away. From here, we're going to glide the leg up and then control it back down nice and slowly. So breathe in to prepare, then breathe out as you lift up. So your head can be in whichever position you feel most comfortable with. And just think about elongating through the leg, trying to get as much length through and as much mobility through that hip as you can. The core's engaged, so it's isolating the movement through from your centre. Good, then from here we're going to come just before those legs reach, you're going to sweep the leg forward and then squeeze the bottom, squeeze the leg back. So try not to make sure you keep your upper body really stable. It's all about just trying to get that nice swinging movement through your hip. So this is really important, even for when you're walking. We should be able to swing our hips normally without the other side of your body being too affected. So squeeze through the bottom and squeeze through the hip flexors. And then we're going to bring that leg up and in towards your body. Through that stretch, come down through that top leg. Then from here, we're going to come into that upper leg, inner leg lift on that other leg. So we're squeezing up through that inner thigh and then drop back down from there. Breathe out as you lift up, in as you lower. Good, and then from there we're going to gently roll ourselves onto your back. You're going to have both knees bent and you're going to drop the legs to one side, arms to the other. You get a nice big stretch and twist through the spine. And then over to the other side. So think about trying to get as much mobility through as you can and allow that top side of your body to stretch, to reach over to the other side again. And then from there, you're going to just gently hug one leg in towards your body and use your hands to gently circle it around. And then we're going to circle round the other way. And then releasing that leg down. From there, we're going to swap over to the other side and then circling through and round. And then round the other way. So from there, keeping that leg hugged in from there, you're going to gently straighten the leg up, hug in behind the back of your knee, and just slowly point and flex your toes to and away from you. So you should feel that nice mobilising stretch come in through your hamstrings. And then dropping that leg down from there. You're then going to pop this foot up and over onto the opposite knee. You're going to reach through the gap in your legs and hug that leg in. You should feel that bottom stretch through onto that left side. And then from here you can circle your left ankle. And then circle round the other way. And just use your elbow to push that knee away, to open through the hip a little way more. And then from here you're going to straighten your right leg up, uncurl that left leg, and then we're going to point and flex your toes to and away from you on that left side, that right side, sorry. And then from there you're going to pop that right foot onto your left knee, reach through the gap in your legs, hug the left leg into your body, and then we're going to gently circle the ankle round. And then round the other way. So think about using your elbow to push the knee open and away. And then gently relaxing from there. We're going to hug both legs in towards your body. Reach your spine up, curl yourself through as much as you can. And you can just gently rock yourself forward or backwards, side to side. Get a little bit of mobility through the spine. And then uncurl the body down from there. You're going to bring yourself around and up into sitting. So from here you can have one leg forward and then gently straighten both legs out. Draw the spine nice and tall. You're going to take a deep breath in, and as you breathe out, gently relax yourself down and round onto your legs. So his knees staying as straight as possible, and just feel that stretch come through the hamstrings and up into your pelvis. Then just go as far as you feel comfortable with this movement. If you get to there and that's enough of a stretch, then that's absolutely fine. Just work to where you feel happy. And then we're going to say curl yourself all the way up. I'm going to pop the feet together so you're opening through the hips. So the feet stay together, the knees drop down nice and heavy. Just opening through from there. If you need to, you can use your hands to encourage those knees down a little way. You're going to draw the spine up, just come into some nice shoulder rolls. Deep breath as you relax down into your seat bones, opening through the chest. And then from here, we're going to bring ourselves round and into kneeling. So we're going to come back into that child's pose, reaching the arms forward from here, open through the spine. And as you bring yourself up, we're going to bring your left leg up and through. So stretching through your hip flexors. Good, I'm going to twist round to the left. And then come back to the centre. Uncurl that leg through, back into our child's pose. Stretch the spine forward. And then as we pop up from there, that right leg's going to come through. So stretching through those hip flexors. And then we're going to twist out to the right. And then come back to the middle from there. So tuck the toes underneath you and slowly curl your body back up and round into that downward dog. So from here you're going to think about lifting your heels one at a time, walk the heels down, get that mobility through the lower back, through the calf muscles. Drop both heels down, hold the stretch. And you're going to walk your hands and feet in towards each other. Allow your body to drop down nice and heavy. And then from here we're going to curl back up. So you're going to think about restacking the spine nice and tall, equally through one side of your body then the other. and then curl that spine back up to restack the spine nice and tall, curling through, nice open posture. The weight's back equal through left and right sides of your body. The pelvis is in neutral, the ribs are relaxed, the shoulders are open, the chest is allowing yourself to open through from there, and the spine is nice and tall. So we're back into our perfect posture. So I hope that was helpful for everyone. That's it, it's just a little bit of a kind of rough guide to what you might expect for some Pilates, and hopefully a few pointers to make sure that you're doing everything correctly, minimising any risk of injury, but most of all making sure you're working the right muscles so you're getting the most from your workout. Hope to speak to some of you soon. Lovely to meet you. Bye.